This is the time of year when companies begin planning out their new marketing initiatives for the upcoming year and decide that it's finally time to invest in a long overdue website redesign. The problem? They're not even remotely prepared to pull it off. You know it, and I know it. Many of them have no set budget, no content plan, no marketing plan, and zero brand direction. And then they wonder why their 3-month website project turns into an 11th month hostage situation with no end in sight. So today, I'm gonna be breaking down everything you need to plan accordingly for and get in order in-house before you can even consider hiring an agency or freelancer to build a new redesigned website for your company. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Bailey Canning. I'm an independent full stack marketing strategist working with my clients on brand strategy engagements, web design and development projects, and ongoing marketing retainers. All right, so the first thing we need to talk about today is going to be the need to revisit your brand before you can do any sort of planning with your new website. This is the perfect time to revisit your brand, not just from a visual perspective in terms of its logo, color scheme, fonts, all the visual elements that are trying to communicate your company's unique marketing message, but you may also want to revisit the actual strategy behind your brand, how you're positioned in the market, how you're differentiated from your competitors, who are the clients and customers you're looking to serve, and what are the key marketing messages you're looking to communicate. Because quite frankly, if you don't revisit your brand and instead you try to just revamp the website, it's gonna be like putting lipstick on a pig. Your website needs a solid brand foundation to be built upon. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how great it looks or how great the copy is. Ultimately, it's just going to be pointed in the wrong direction and not going to be moving the needle significantly for your company from a marketing and sales perspective. In my experience running my own freelance consultancy as well as being an agency employee in a past life, there were so many times when clients would come to either me or the agency I worked at, initially only looking for a website project, but ultimately over time coming to the realization that they also needed to do significant rebranding work. This doesn't mean you necessarily need to invest in a major rebranding project. So oftentimes you actually just need a slight brand revamp. But whatever it is, I do recommend that you revisit the foundations of your brand because quite honestly, if you're not going to do it now, when are you going to do it? Number two, you need to set a realistic budget for your website. I would say for a competent freelancer or agency, $10,000 to $15,000 as of the time I'm recording this video is the baseline of what you should expect to pay, and that is on the smaller end of the scale in terms of smaller website projects. But it is not uncommon for these website projects based on the scope of work to run into the 20, 30, 40, even 50K and beyond range. It all depends on the total scope of work and how much of a return on investment the website can potentially deliver your company. Anything under $10,000, I'm telling you, is going to be done probably on a poor cookie cutter type platform like Squarespace or, God forbid, Wix. And honestly, it's probably going to be done by someone who's cutting corners in the development process or who just quite frankly doesn't have a whole lot of experience. Now, if you're a small mom and pop shop, that might make sense. But if you're an established company looking to make serious revenue and is going to be investing in its online marketing strategy on top of the website investment, or you're a large corporate entity, then quite frankly, you can't afford to fool around. And I do think that it is worth paying more just to know that you've secured a competent freelancer or agency. And keep in mind, you don't need to pay their health insurance costs or any of the benefits like that. So it's actually way cheaper than if you were to make a hire in-house. When it comes to setting a budget, all you need to keep in mind is that 10% of your target revenue should be allocated towards marketing. So if you're looking to make $1 million in revenue this year, then you need to invest $100,000 in marketing. And so in that case, I think investing 20 to 30K for a proper website with all the key features and pages you're gonna need is really, quite honestly, just a no-brainer. I have to mention this one because I really don't see a lot of people talking about it online, and that is you need to empower someone on your team as the single point of contact on your side, the client side, to communicate with your agency or freelancer. You cannot have a committee of 3 or 4 people who are supposed to be making decisions together, because quite honestly, it's just going to lead to way more back and forth. People are not going to be taking the project as seriously, and ultimately it's just going to create so many bottlenecks. So trust me, the projects always run way smoother. I've launched 30 to 40 websites in my career easily. They always run smoother when you have one client-side point of contact who is making the decisions, coordinating all the content and other information from other areas of the company, and ultimately is just able to actually provide feedback to the agency or freelancer and keep the project moving along smoothly. Pick one internal owner of the project, and I guarantee you the project experience is going to be much faster and smoother for everyone involved. Another thing you need to do is you need to have a solid idea of what platform you want to build the website on. You don't need to have it set in stone necessarily, but I do recommend narrowing it down to 2 at most options. This way you're not held hostage to whatever the agency or freelancer is building on. My advice to you here is to first figure out what your marketing and sales goals are that the website must enable your company to achieve, and also think about how your team is going to be using it post-launch so that they can actually leverage it as an effective marketing tool. So based on the goals you're looking to hit and the functionality you need, that is then how you can look at the different website platforms and see which one is going to be best for you. And then you can reach out to companies and agencies and freelancers who are going to be experts in those platforms, and then solicit them for proposals, consultations, things of that nature. You don't want to be at the mercy of just being recommended whatever platform your agency or freelancer suggests. That's how you get locked into a platform that is not able to help your company achieve its marketing and sales goals. And then you're probably going to need to scrap the website at a later point and redo it. So trust me, do your research. It's going to pay off big dividends later on. If you're getting a lot of value out of this video and you're basically sold on everything I'm talking about here, and you're finally ready to reinvest in your company's website, then I invite you to schedule a complimentary strategy call with myself. Link in the description, check it out. There's an interactive 5-minute video form. If you're qualified, you'll be able to book a meeting directly on my calendar. And this is not gonna be a sales pitch. Rather, I'm gonna take the time to learn all about your company and its marketing and sales goals. And based on everything you tell me, I'll help you actually map out what you need to do from a brand strategy perspective. I'll help you outline a web design and development roadmap, and I'll also help you realize what a marketing game plan could look like for the day after you launch your website. That way you actually have a marketing plan to drive traffic, leads, and of course, sales. That sounds good to you? Link in the description, book a call, and I'll see you soon. With the shameless self-promotion handled, let's get back into the video. Now, before you're ready to kick off a website project, you also need to make sure that you have all the content you're gonna need either collected already or a clear plan of action for getting that all shot and created in the first month or so of the project. By content here, I'm talking case studies, client testimonials, staff photos and bios, photography of your case studies, of your office, anything you're looking to feature on the website. You want to have it already compiled and organized so it's easy to hand off to the person you're going to be working with to develop the website. And then you're also going to want to have a roadmap for any outstanding content you need to create. Trust me when I tell you that this is the bottleneck for 90% of companies when it comes to getting their website live. They start the project with 0 content plan, and then they drag their feet the entire way, and then this ultimately ends up delaying the launch. for weeks, if not even months at a time. So that is one reason why over time I began writing all the copy for my client's website, which is now a service I provide de facto at the start of a new website build. And this, I have found that it really, number one, results in better outcomes because we have a professional writing proper marketing and sales copy of the website that dramatically improves conversion rates. By being able to deliver this to my clients, it's helping us launch way faster, and then they can just focus on the content that only they can actually produce. Next thing is you're going to actually need to have a marketing plan of action for being able to grow your company's brand awareness online, generate leads, and of course, ultimately increase sales and revenue, which is the entire reason why we are developing this website. It's not an esoteric art project, it's a business project. But you would be so surprised how many times companies have invested tens of thousands of dollars into their website. They've done everything right up until this point, but then they either don't want to invest in marketing or they don't have any marketing plan to even invest in. So that is why it is so critical that you must have a plan to actually market the website. I'm not talking about just having social videos to promote the launch along with an email announcement, which is also things I handle for my clients as well these days. But you also need a marketing game plan across all the major channels today. I'm talking content, so like video content like this. I'm talking paid ads. I'm talking email. I'm talking SEO. Everything that goes into a modern marketing strategy, because you can build the best website in the world, but if no one can find it online via the different marketing efforts you should be doing, then ultimately, does it even exist? Who knows at that point? Like I always say on this channel, the website is just the foundation of your marketing strategy. And while it is important, of course, to get the foundation right, because if you don't, then it's going to be impossible to build upon it effectively. You don't need to be a structural engineer to know that. Ultimately, though, you need to actually have a plan for what you're going to build. So that is why at the start of every website project, I honestly will sit down in the strategy phase of the project before any design or development work gets done. And I'll actually walk my clients through what they should be considering from a marketing perspective as soon as the website is launched. And oftentimes they'll want to go right into a marketing retainer with me at the conclusion, which is always great because you can't just let your website sit there. You need to actually treat it as a marketing asset, or else you're just not going to get the sales results you're looking for. Last thing I want to talk about here, because I know many of you are probably watching this video and you might like everything I'm saying, you might even hate it, oh well, but you might be thinking to yourself, listen, even if we do everything you're saying here, then honestly, I just know based on our company's internal politics, culture, bureaucracy, whatever you want to call it, I just know that our company is going to be dragging our feet with this and it's going to take much longer than you're saying. Or maybe you would love to go down this process, but you know that your company just doesn't have the full funds necessary to do it right. In either situation, I would recommend doing a phased build approach, which I've talked about in past videos on this channel. Maybe, for example, you're on a tight timeline, you got to get this new website up and running 6 weeks or so, or you have a limited budget, maybe you're at like 10K, for example, and you know you can't get a proper 5 to 10 page website built out, even though long-term, that's what your company needs. In either way, I would recommend just doing a phased build approach. So phase one could be all the key essential pages you can afford and get that launched in the timeline you need to hit. And then over time, whether that be months later, weeks later, even another year later, you can always build upon it. But the key thing is that you will have a website in the first place that's actually able to produce results for your business. And also, even more importantly, perhaps, it's going to be built on the proper technical infrastructure so you can actually leverage the website as a clear marketing tool. If you're looking for my help to redesign your website in the upcoming year, now is a great time to begin planning it out. If so, you know what to do. Check out the link in the description, fill out the interactive video form, and if you're qualified, you'll be able to book time directly on my calendar for a 30 to 45 minute actionable call where I'll run you through the entire process and provide my best next steps for you to move forward with your project. Otherwise, keep it posted to the channel, coming out with multiple videos a week here, so subscribe. And if you have any questions on anything I said, feel free to drop a comment and I'll get back to you when I have a chance.